Greetings, warlocks, hunters, titans, and all the ships at sea. We are back. It is Happy Hour from the Tower, and I am your host, T. Morris.
You've been busy, Guardian.
That would be an understatement for the past 2 months. And sitting over to my left,
Nick Kelly.
They call me the greatest titan who ever lived.
and he never goes anywhere without that shield. That's true, isn't it? That's true. He never goes anywhere without that shield. And sitting across from me,
I'm Brandon Kelly.
If you're willing to help, you'll need to walk the corridors of time.
are the corridors of time anything like the corridors at your high school?
Yeah, I get lost in time every time I take a turn.
That's the truth. And we have a special guest. He does not have a screen because, man, did I put all this together in record time. And we, even with all the technical hiccups, we still managed to get here. Mystery guest, sign on in. Oh my God, we lost our mystery guest.
We knew that was coming.
Oh
Yeah.
no! Where are you? Oh, hang on. He's here. He's. This is a roller coaster. Mystery guest, sign on in.
Sorry.
Don't worry, we'll fix it in post. No, we won't.
Just an average Joe. Average is in my name. So this whole thing. No, I'm average Joe.
Bring the sky down upon them.
That you will.
About what we expected coming back from significant time off.
Oh, okay. Let's go ahead and let's cover that. I think between October and November.
Can I say it?
Go for it.
Okay, it's December 8th.
If you got your Christmas lights up, that's fine.
Good on you.
Yeah, good on you. Good
Also,
on you.
hashtag Save Daredevil.
Punk.
What do I say? Daredevil? What is this?
Hashtag Save Daredevil.
Hashtag save Daredevil.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, sure, whatever.
It's a trap!
Yeah, it's been. It really has
Did you
been.
look at me? Oh, no.
It's been. It's been a week. It's been a day. It has been a freaking. It has been a freaking time. But before we get into what brings us back finally to the mics and brings us back into the show, let's go ahead and let's talk to Average Joe. Average Joe, why exactly are you here? Tell us a little bit about Guardians MH.
Sure, no problem. First of all, thank you so much for having me on. I'm so psyched to be here with you all. You're just
Finally.
some of the nicest people in the world and so supportive. When Nick reached out, I was just like, yes, absolutely. But no, my name's Average Joe. That's my gamer's tag, but surprisingly, I am average and my name really is Joe. I'm a founder and president of Guardians MH, which is a 501c3 mental health nonprofit, and we are focused in the gaming and streaming community. And our mission within the community is to make resources easily accessible to everyone, to also promote mental health awareness in the gaming and streaming community, and also develop meaningful programs and support networks to bring an overall better mental well-being for everyone. We have several programs in development right now. We're wrapping up a few that will be made accessible to the public very shortly, and we just want to do everything we can to bring mental health awareness and these programs to the gaming and streaming community. We feel it's just so important right now because frankly, the gaming community has been growing exponentially every single year. So just this past year, there was an average of 167 million gamers just in the United States. That's just the United States. Now, if you take the statistic and break it down to like 1 in 5, that's still 67 million people that are affected by or experience a mental health situation or condition throughout the year.
And you guys have a website. What is that website?
That website is guardiansmh.org. You can find a bunch.
That's our
You
plug.
dinged me.
That's our
Yeah, I
plug.
did. Yeah, you got dinged.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, whenever you say, for example, you can find us at happyhourfromthetower.com,
Ding.
or you can see us helping raise awareness and raise money for guardiansmh.org. It's that kind of thing. That's how the plug bill works. So you were saying that website again is?
guardiansmh.org.
Okay, great.
Now he's got it.
Now he's got it. Now he's got it. He's figured it out.
Yeah.
You sure you're really excited about being on this show?
To be honest, I was actually just spacing out for a second because I was thinking of like several different websites I wanted to plug just to get you to hit the bell. So don't be surprised if I throw out some throughout.
I'm at the ready. Bring it, son. Bring it.
Nice. And then Joe, you're a crisis counselor also, right?
I am. I'm also certified. I have over 100+ hours of mental health support training. I'm certified in various different forms of it, but I'm also a crisis counselor with Crisis Text Line multiple times throughout the week. And I am currently volunteering 200 hours to the Crisis Text Line, and I really look forward to it. I mean, it's really the best source. We promote it throughout our organization as well and our support networks. We make it very evident that our mental health professionals and team members aren't accessible 24 hours a day. And people, frankly, have experiences 24 hours a day. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, somebody might be going through a crisis and needs support where one of us are not available at the time. We promote Crisis Text Line and a few other sources as well to get that person crisis intervention or support as fast as possible.
So real quick, I do want to say in chat, we already have somebody that said, sounds like something I'd be interested in getting info on, as I've suffered from depression since I lost my wife 3 years ago this week. Dark Jedi 68, if you want to go and check out guardiansmh.org. No, I'm not going to get the plug bell because we're being a little more serious this go around. One thing I would recommend is checking out their Discord. They have a very active Discord. I'll be writing about them in my upcoming book, Discord for Dummies. That did get a plug bell. But yeah, Dark Jedi, go on ahead and check out their Discord. They're good people, and they'll be more than happy to talk to you and help you out. Just recently, and chat, just so you know, we are not necessarily talking all about Guardians MH, but I did want to spend some time talking about them, because we did want to get Joe on the show.
He's a fellow super fan.
Yeah. The thing I wanted to let him know, though, was that I had an absolute blast on your first charity stream. And I'd like to hear a little bit more about from you all's perspective on how you felt that went, because I know for a fact I had an absolute blast running with these two knuckleheads on my leg of the stream, and then swapped. It was probably the smoothest transition of any Twitter, any Twitch stream, because we literally went from me. And then I got up, and then your mom sat in that chair, and she got to do what you haven't gotten to do yet, which is game from this chair. And
the only difference is a monitor.
There is that.
Which is disappointing. But
But it was awesome because, so if for folks who didn't watch that stream, Brandon's mom, my wife, same person, is
Thank God.
Last we checked.
She's a doctor in health theology, so she was talking about a lot of the holistic methods that support some of the other things that Guardians MH does, and it was really cool to hear that, while you're punching Doug's in the face.
I was going to say, while you're fragging Fallen and Cabal everywhere.
It was fantastic.
It was mostly Vex.
Yeah, but she's, super, super zen, but we talk about this all the time. There's like a tranquility to the game that you just have through the repetition of being doing something that you really love doing. And I was watching later that night. You had, was it the Destiny Community podcast? That is insane. One of the big group podcasts. They were definitely not safe for work, but they were cranking in terms of fundraising, and they were.
That was Destiny Unfiltered.
Destiny, yes. With the marshmallows and the oh my god.
So that was Icicle, who's creator of Shaq's Motivations and Destiny Bad Jokes, and also
Destiny Bad Jokes. Oh my god, I love Destiny.
She was on there with them. Yeah, that was
Shaq's
a fantastic,
hilarious Twitter account too.
I need to go and check that out.
Yeah,
so Joe, what were your thoughts, and will we get a chance to do this again?
Absolutely. We actually we're a official charity and cause on Tiltify. We're partnered with them, and anybody can actually run a fundraising campaign for us in our name on there. And we have tons of milestones and benefits for people that want to raise money to help the nonprofit and the programs that we're developing and bring more mental health awareness to the community. We try to book out at least 6 to 8 large scale streams a year. So this is the final one for this year, and we kind of skipped one just because we were going through so close to getting the 501c3 federal status.
Yep.
And we wanted to wait until we got that before we went forward with our first stream. And I'll tell you what, we have done over 30 plus charity streams and benefit streams for mental health organizations and other organizations that play a real key part in the gaming community. This was the first one that was for the nonprofit that we started.
And you had plenty of hoops that you had to jump through for that status, because you and I have been chatting this whole time while you were going through that process, and then I'm thinking, you said, unleash the fury!
It's a beast of a process. I was talking with the founder of Rise Above the Disorder, Jason, and he was not kidding when he said this process is a beast, and I honestly think it is designed that way to discourage people.
Yeah.
And if you're dedicated enough and you believe in your nonprofit and your mission that much, then you will go through anything to try and make it a reality and to make a difference in people's lives.
Put the head down and do the work, right?
That's right. And I literally nonstop, at least, I'd say at this point now, it's about 4 nights a week that I'm working on nonprofit stuff, whether it be filling out paperwork for other states or filling stuff out for the federal government, New York State, whatever have you. And also working with our mental health advisors and team members to create these programs and to hash them out. And I also designed, I don't know how to write Java, but I figured one of the greatest things that we could do with Discord is actually make a mental health resources Discord bot. It can be so sloppy in Discord trying to put resources down and trying to scroll through it. But to write a Discord bot and have that resource and several resources for that one topic at your fingertips at any moment is a huge resource to have.
Okay.
And
so
we actually released that a few weeks ago.
Talk to me after this, because I think I can help make that happen. It's because I have a guy who's, I think his blood type is Java. He's been a coder for as long as I've known him. So it's probably a good fit there. And then also, before we move into the Destiny specific topic, you guys also have a podcast.
We do. We our podcast, it used to be we originated as a Saint 14 project.
Yes, I have the hoodie.
I do too. I'm wearing it right now. We related so much with Saint 14, and with creating this nonprofit from the Destiny community. Saint 14 is like a beacon for us. I mean, he was a guardian for the people. He was a protector, and that's exactly what we all try to strive for, is being guardians for each other's mental health. And going forward, we grew to Project Guardians, and now we are Guardians MH, which is our legal 501c3 nonprofit name. But it's our podcast. We changed the name to have it follow with the nonprofit, so it's Guardians MH podcast, and you can find it wherever you get your podcasts. And it's really neat because it's a fusion between mental health topics and gaming. So
nice.
Our clinical director, Dr. Williams, is actually on there, and every episode he does a character analysis on whoever the guest wants for a pop culture character or video game character. He'll do a full dive on that character. And we also talk about at the top of the show a specific mental health topic, whether it be this previous week we talked to Kara Lee from Zerwatch.
Oh yeah, Kara Lee.
Yeah, she's great.
She's awesome.
Man, she's
awesome.
So much fun.
She was a. I don't mind saying this, but a little shout out for Kara Lee. She was a beacon. She was like she was a lighthouse in the mad swirling tempest that was TwitchCon for me. And anytime I felt a little overwhelmed, I'd go to where she was, and I almost like fell apart in front of her because I just said, I just want to say thank you, because this has been a slightly overwhelming event, and you've been like a calm.
You were out there on an island too, dude.
I was, man, especially with all the stuff I was dealing with at work at the time.
Yeah.
And she's a rock. I love her to death. So big shout out to Carol Lee. Shout out to Carol Lee.
So I had a chance to visit their podcast a couple months back, and of course, demanded that Daredevil / Matt Murdock would be the character that they did the study.
Yeah,
with.
absolutely.
And it was so much fun because
I bet.
Is it Sentinel Dad who's the other huge Daredevil fan?
Yes.
Yes.
He is a huge fan.
Huge. Yeah, we were comparing notes after those. Great.
I bet. All right, so what a great segue. That was absolutely fantastic.
I am beautiful. I am a hunter. I am beautiful.
It was a beautiful segue, but we're not going to talk about hunters. We're going to talk about this guy.
We have to let Brandon in at some point.
Yeah, we do. We have to talk about this guy though.
They call me the greatest hunter.
This guy. We're talking about Saint 14. Saint 14. And since Brandon has been so quiet, Brandon, what can you tell us about Saint 14?
He was the most noble guardian that I think we've ever heard about, read about, known. And then he died valiantly after centuries in the Infinite Forest.
Yeah.
And the only way he actually died was by the Martyr Mind.
The Martyr Mind. Thank you for remembering that.
Who was created,
Nice
who was created to wipe his light, and it succeeded. And the Vex, out of respect, built a tomb for him.
Yeah, but do you remember that tomb? I remember being completely stunned when I just did this pan around, and it was just all these mountains of Vex bodies. And
the tomb was nothing but Vex that he had killed.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing about it.
Yeah.
And running to that place and looking through the crack in the wall just to look in there.
It was an amazing legend.
Oh yeah.
And I have to wonder how long Bungie has been sitting on the idea of doing something about Saint 14, because just like talking to Joe about how movements and people were just there was something about the story of Saint 14 that resonated with people. You didn't even have to be a Titan. You saw the tomb. And then, of course, there's the parcel.
I mean, he's kind of like the whole reason the Defender class existed.
Yeah.
In D1.
He's a paladin.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like the ultimate. I'll just do the right by everybody.
Exactly.
Good guy. And I do run with the perfect paradigm. I love.
That's a great shotgun. It's a great shotgun.
It doesn't hurt that you're Exo Titan. I'm not a shield guy all the time, but. Can be, but just rerunning that over the summer, just going through the whole thing over and you're like, oh man, I forgot how just great this set of missions is, and it. Do we 100% agree? It's the best thing about Mercury is that Mercury exists today.
Oh yeah. Beyond the shadow of a doubt. I would say that was the best mission, bar none.
Okay,
absolutely. So now,
because it has one lost sector, one public.
I was going to say it wasn't because of the lost sector.
The bar's pretty low.
45 seconds it takes across the entire map.
Yeah, but guys, hang on a second. You forget. Think of all the cool tricks we were doing on our spec. Oh wait, never mind. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Please continue.
So,
what are you saying, Nicholas? Are you saying there was a problem with Mercury?
All right.
I was always happy to see you.
Out of respect for the dead. I was the only one that Mercury last 6 months. Nobody else ever goes there with a flashpoint.
Yeah, and even then, it's that whole unanimous. Oh God, it's on Mercury. Man.
Yes. And so I think the only reason I was there so much was because I wanted to finish the weapons and get my Segura shell. Who I wear.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
My Segura. I'm wearing my Segura on my adventure. And that was I'm gonna go. Hey, you guys want to help me out? I'm over here in Mercury. No, we're cool.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
That's because you didn't have to go to Mercury to get the stuff you needed. It was you got the prophecy boxes and then different activities. Going away from Mercury is what got you stuff that was on Mercury.
Now, hold on a minute. You did get your 2 tokens in the blue, so you guys need to back off, okay? You need to back all the way off on
Now
that.
there aren't even tokens.
Yeah. Okay. So
What are we talking about?
We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, so basically, they had a huge reveal, this week, which some people have been saying is like 80% hype. Some people said that it was just the right amount of content to give us a glimpse of what's coming next week. So let's break down this whole.
Before we do that, let me push pause on you for 1 second because I need to let Brandon and I have this discussion.
Oh boy.
Yes.
About?
Okay, speaking of the community, who I mostly love, the 5 to 8% of you who are the vocal minority on Twitter, who are just pissed that Trials isn't back, give it a rest, please.
Y'all jokers must be crazy.
I think I fall in that, but
It is bad.
See, and this is
The whole reason for labs was to bring back Trials, because 3v3 elimination is just Trials with no rewards.
It's right there.
Yeah.
It's right on the cusp.
Coming back.
Yeah. Along with Sparrow Racing League. I mean, I'm just sorry.
No, that's not actually
There was a drop somewhere.
like unlikely. Yeah, that's true. No. So the Dawning's icon on the calendar has 3 different sparrows.
Yeah, I saw it.
Charging. So
I saw it.
If Bungie's bringing back Racing League, it's gonna be at the Dawning.
Yeah, I mean it, and you know, I did Trials once. I still have my Trials.
It's
tokens.
not meant for you.
I did what?
It's not meant for you.
Really?
Yes.
Really? Wow.
I just want people to calm down.
Wow.
No, I know.
Welcome. Shut up.
Okay.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Kelly. Please continue.
That's not me calling you out. I'm saying it's a 5 to 8% minority.
Yeah.
That it's meant for.
That just smacks of elitism. I'm sorry, and I'm going to call you out on it because the player I was, you had to come in the middle of this, Joe. I'm sorry. The player I was in D1 is not the player I am in D2.
Yeah, and you've improved in Crucible, but not enough.
No,
I hate Trials. When I played it,
but do you want it
twice?
To but do you want it to come back?
For the people to shut up, yeah.
If they just renamed Elimination Trials, would you think people would be happy?
Yes.
You think so?
If they renamed it, and then maybe if they gave activity-specific loot, that's all they would need to do.
The problem is, absolutely right.
The problem is Trials of the Nine was a thing, and then they took it out. That's why people are being even more mad about
people
it.
are going to have to get used to that because the Vex Offensive is about to be taken out.
Exactly.
But I also remember, and the time that I did do Trials, yes, it was pretty traumatic.
Yeah.
But I will say, it was traumatic. It was extremely traumatic.
Yeah.
It made Comp look like Gambit. Okay, I mean,
exactly.
But
he was not very good back in the day.
No, I wasn't.
And I admit, I'm still like just the junior idiot. Let me go punch stuff guy among us. But he's gotten to the point where he actually knows what direction he's pointing, which is way better than D1.
Oh my God! I've gone from my call sign being wrong way to to Broken Watch. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I mean, even today, a friend of the show, Drafty, was watching me in Gambit, and he was going, "T, when'd you get good at PvP?"
Yes.
And I said, "You sound surprised," and he said, "I am surprised and I'm thrilled."
Awesome.
And I was like, "Okay, cool," but no, I was gonna say Munch, surprise. Munch was the one that dragged me in the Trials.
Yeah.
But the way I understood, part of the reason why Trials was taken offline was because it was apparently very easy to hack.
Oh, yeah.
And it was it was one of the weak links in Destiny's and Bungie's security chain.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why they took it out. Now, I wouldn't mind it coming back because I do remember having a taste of it going, that was one of the most traumatic things I've ever gone through. But there was that thrill seeker in me.
Yeah.
There was that thrill seeker in me. And I know you've got it too. I know it's buried in there.
I do.
Somewhere
it's
in
just
that teen angst.
the state of Crucible right now has been
I'll tell you what,
insane.
I've always been a Trials player. I've loved Trials. Ever since D1, I played it every weekend. When I got into Trials, I played every weekend, win or lose. And I am the least saltiest comp PvP player you will ever play with.
Which is why I can't play
my tone pretty much through Trials. And when Trials of the Nine came out, I was super pumped, and then I went to the Spire 3 times, and 3 or 4 times. And yeah, I'm that guy. I hit 5,500, all that jazz. I like comp. I like elimination specifically, but adding all these game modes, like extra modes, like countdown and this and that, and it just got a little too much. And it wasn't Trials anymore. It was something else. It evolved into something else where nobody really wanted it. I understand they wanted to grow into something, but it got to the point where it was getting to like certain weeks I would only play Trials. Like, oh, it's countdown? Nah, skip. Go to the next one. It was like survival. That's going to drag out forever, but I'll play it. And when they took it away, now I see elimination back, and I love playing elimination. Like, literally, just bring back the old school Trials of Osiris, and people will be happy.
Yeah.
In my eyes.
Yeah, no, that's correct.
I mean, and look, I'm okay with not only people bringing back old school. I wouldn't mind seeing SRL come back. Just don't make it a mandatory thing because, man, I still can't drive my Sparrow worth a damn. I mean, that's the God's honest
SRL
truth.
was never a mandatory thing back then. It's like,
but in some of the triumphs, and some of the seals that people are asking for, they're starting to do that. I mean, think about the moments of triumph.
Yeah, but if they do so the title for Dawn is not gonna have that. If it has SRL in it, it's not gonna be like, oh, get this and whatever, because it's the Dawning that's gonna, if it's coming back at all, it's gonna be in the Dawning. So there might be a seal for the Dawning, specifically if they do it like they did for Solstice, but I don't think they will.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's gonna be triumphs for if they bring anything back or if they bring new things in. There's obviously going to be triumphs, but I don't think any of them are going to lead towards seals specifically.
Interesting.
There's a behavior that drives me nuts, which is like something happens and the immediate reaction has to be the right reaction, right?
Yeah.
So, and I know I've watched golf tournaments. The second Tiger Woods makes contact with the golf ball, everybody starts cheering. You're like, dude, that is in the woods. Like, you need to like see what happens, right? So, for the season of Dawn to come out, and the two things. And this is the last I'll touch on the negativity because there's so much positive stuff coming out.
Oh,
of this. The one was, but there's no trials. Like immediately, like slow your roll, dude. Like we're getting things week by week, right? And then the second piece was, it's Mercury. Okay, so we historically have not liked Mercury, but do you want them to not develop it? Do you want them to leave it the way it's always been? Because then we won't touch it. Let's do something with it and bring in the process, like have a huge lore-based.
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair that that like you said, when it comes out, people are like, that it automatically it's like super critical.
Right.
And I'm sitting there going, did you guys not see Shadowkeep? Did you guys? I mean, do we not? Have we already forgotten just how incredible Shadowkeep was out of the box?
Okay, so the problem with that argument. Shadowkeep and Season of the Undying are two completely different things.
Yes, they are. But even Season of the Undying, there were a lot of people that were critical about. Oh, well, it was kind of a it ended on a fizzle. And
that's the point.
And to me, I was like, well, I was still having fun.
Yeah,
I was still having a really good time. No, was it mind blowing? No, it wasn't mind blowing.
No, but that's okay. So the last 2.5 weeks of every Destiny season is a drought.
Yeah,
has people like that's the formula. That's the formula.
Yeah, that's the way things go.
And they literally warned us about that.
The last everything but 6 days of Warmind was a drought because we ran out of content of Warmind too quick.
The third day, yeah.
Oh yeah, just refresh.
But no, they literally warned us about this. They're like, every season leads into the next.
Right.
But you have to understand that in order to stop complaining.
And that they're also not the same size.
Exactly.
The updates we get. You talked about this off air, which was, so like Forsaken was the big drop, and then you had the small, like the Forge, which is just huge,
Black Armory.
Black Armory. And then but think about this is exactly what the cycle we're in. We had Shadowkeep.
Yep.
It's huge, and then we had Undying, which wasn't as big, and then people are like, well.
No.
They can't all be exclamation points. Like at some point, you're getting big content drops and then smaller seasons throughout, which we talked about the cycle of,
Which happened in D1 too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, and storytelling, good storytelling is just it's peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
It can't be up here all the time, and then you get numb to that.
Which is why. So that's why they're bringing Saint back.
Right.
Is because it leads to something.
Right.
plus the whole like,
My kid.
holy crap, it's St. 14.
Ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen,
Yeah.
my son, Brandon. Thermal.
But no, there's a whole reason this is happening.
Right. I mean,
But-
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
But how much of the community believes that the weakest season to date since the D2 launch is Curse of Osiris? They needed to build that area
That's my
and
point.
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
up about that. I mean, look how they use the Infinite Forest for the seasonal events running through it.
Right.
This previous one for Halloween for the Festival of the Lost, it was epic. It was gorgeous on the inside in the Infinite Forest, and it was truly random.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like a set path. Like the Curse of Osiris was very weak. It had some great points to
It had
it,
potential.
but they needed exactly.
It had
And
such
I
potential.
think this is their way of not like a redo, but okay, they're redoing the supers and classes and stuff. Let's fix this.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
No, but
I have a question for Joe.
Uh-huh.
So this last Festival of the Lost, did you run it with anybody who hadn't done it the year before?
I have a couple people actually.
Did you warn them about the floor at the end?
Can
No.
I say something about that?
Absolutely not. I
Can
took
say
great
something about that?
satisfaction.
Yeah. Joe, you and I are blood brothers. I was taking. Not only was I taking a friend through it, this friend is legally blind,
Oh, Steve.
and it was,
I was with you on that.
yes, it was me, Steve, and Chavez, and we were like, okay, Steve, there's your treasure, go get it. And Steve was like, what do you mean, go get it? And we were you're like, go get it, Steve. And Steve's like, what's going on? And we're like, nothing, man. It's right there. Just go get it. And then Steve immediately fell to the floor. We're like, oh, Steve, watch out. And it was one of the, I mean, and that's, I will tell you this, that to me, I'm like, this is what we wanted the Infinite Forest to be.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a fan. I was not a big fan of the Infinite Forest during the Verdant
Forest?
when it was the Verdant
No
Forest.
one was.
But the Haunted Forest, holy Hannah, I could not get
That's
enough
no,
of it.
but that's because the
Right,
Haunted Forest was
right.
different.
Yeah.
The Haunted
exactly.
Forest
It
had
was-
something that changed. The
And it
Verdant
was
Forest was
ter-
just the contrast was turned up.
And it was terrifying, yeah. And it was terrifying as F.
Yes.
Because you come around the corner and you see that one guy you can't defeat, and it's like, okay, Steve, get away from that
yeah.
dude. Oh God, I love the Haunted Forest. Anyway,
Yep, they
so
did a great job.
and I really, from what we have seen so far, and I wanted to get Brandon's perspective on this, and then we're gonna probably have to take a break.
Yeah,
'cause
probably.
we have been tearing through this. This has been fantastic. Brandon, when you were saying the going through the corridors of time, you said it reminded you of Dishonored. Can you
Oh,
build
yeah.
on that? Let's go ahead and build on that.
Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about the whole time travel aspect of this. Go for it.
So if you've ever played Dishonored, you've encountered the Outsider, who's he's like, I don't know if he's a god or a demigod, but he's a someone who's like on the outer realms of time, and he can mark people with the mark of the Outsider, which gives you your powers that you use in game, like blink. But everyone gets their different thing of powers.
Right.
And it's the reason it reminded me of that is because it has such a sharp glass edge feel of like those dark crystal gem things that are in the corridors of time. I don't know what the place is actually called,
Right.
but I'm really excited to see what they do with it because it's the dark Infinite Forest, and that's all I see it as. But it looks so much cooler.
It actually reminded me because I was watching. Speaking of our friend, friend of the show. By the way, he's coming down from MagFest, just so you guys know. But yeah.
Blind Gamer Steve.
I
Blind
was
Gamer
there
Steve.
for
YouTube.com/snowball or Mixer.com/Blind Gamer Steve. Go ahead and check him out. Steve was actually playing a game called Control, and it had a similar. Like it was a whole telekinesis, X-Files, Fringe kind of thing, and it had like this alternate world, which was very much like what you're describing. It was everything was black and white, and it was jagged, and it looked like you could cut yourself on everything.
Yeah,
It was
but
really
it's
cool.
like the reason they're designing it like that is because how do you see time?
yeah,
It's the physical manifestation
multidimensional
of,
aspect
yes,
of time, right.
the human concept of time,
Right.
Which is why it's just the Infinite Forest, but through time instead of just the Vex
the Vex
future.
simulation.
Yeah, it's our version of what it's fueled by the sundials. What I'm assuming it is because the images we've seen. It's a straight line across.
Yep.
of just this big corridor of those black crystals leading to whatever timeline you're trying to get to.
And it looks disoriented because if you're trying to do a physical manifestation of time,
it
is going to be completely out of whack.
And if you're going to make a manifestation of time, it's got to be black and white.
There you go. That works for me.
The little hidden gem in all of this for me is I love that they're reusing that soundtrack, because I think that vocal soundtrack was the best thing about Mercury.
Why they haven't released the soundtracks for Warmind and Curse of Osiris is beyond me, because that's
they were too busy doing Whisper of the Worm.
I mean, that's that remixes we can make with Warmind.
I mean, honestly, I did. That's one of the best things I like about going back to Mercury. If I ever have to go back to Mercury, well, on the plus side,
I get loading screen music.
I get the screen music, and I start to. And I think I'm with Kurt Russell and James Spader, and it's Stargate all over again. Because every time I go there, I half expect finding a Stargate. I just want to find a Stargate and just dial something and see where it goes. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and when we get
more
back,
positive when we get back.
We're going to get a lot more positive when we get back.
Yes.
We're going to do a breakdown of that trailer. We're going to talk a little bit about all the stuff that's coming down the pike we are excited about right after this break. And we're clear.
Great.
And we're clear. Okay, so Joe, just so you know, this is the portion of the show where we take a break.
Vin's bugging me.
I'm sorry about that, man. I'm so sorry about that.
What are you spraying?
He's spraying some compressed
The
air.
monitor is like all covered in cat fur.
Just so you know, I can barely hear Brandon.
That's a common problem.
It's a common problem. For whatever reason, my mixer will pick up channels 1 and 2, but for whatever reason, channel 3, it's picking it up and it's sending it out on Twitch. But for folks that are coming in on Discord, it's not coming in at all. So Brandon is coming in through my microphone and
do you
Jake's
want
microphone.
to? Do you still have the splitter?
We have the splitter. I'm just worried it's going to weaken both of your signals. But
Nothing can weaken me out.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. I crank my audio a little bit and tune to just a little. I can hear Brandon if I really focus. If he speaks kind of high. It's just I want to apologize. If I cut you off, dude, I am so sorry.
You're good.
He's both an awoken and a hunter, so you're not supposed to.
there you go. Oh, man.
Jeez.
It's so like he can hear my vocal frequencies resonating.
So chat, I just want to open up the. I want to open it up to folks in stream. I want to find out if you all have any questions specifically for Joe or for any of us. By all means, go ahead and speak up. Let us know. Let us know what's on your mind. Again, I want to say, Joe, I had an absolute blast.
I can't thank you enough for coming on. It was such a great blast.
I was in
you guys were so much fun.
And in all fairness, I was in not a weird place, but I was in a very retrospective place because we just had a friend of ours, a honor student. I mean, she's a beautiful young lady. She's an honor student. She's smart as a tack, really talented, and she had just gotten out of the hospital because the month before she tried to kill herself. And I mean, it was like somebody just slammed on the brakes, and we here we are in the United States, and she's all the way in New Zealand, and we were keeping in touch with the family and everything like that. And she had just gotten out, and this was like the week of the charity, and she wrote to us, and she said, you guys reaching out to me, reaching out and making yourselves available to me, it meant the world to me, and I realized just how much I'm loved. And all we were doing was just responding to her posts on Instagram and responding to her posts on Facebook, just basically saying, "You got this, kia kaha, we love you," things like that. And then the charity came up, and I just caught myself while I was doing stuff in Destiny. I think I was doing Gambit or I was doing Crucible, and there was this weird duality of being in Crucible and like getting a headshot and going, I've been really looking at myself and looking at my life and looking at how I'm. And it was weird.
Is that how Drifter confronts you when you get a headshot?
You need to talk to somebody, man. But the thing was that there were people in chat that were responding to it. They were saying, T, you're not broken, and I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, and I remember even a friend of the stream, Nate Fu. He said
Nate Fu.
Nate Fu.
Yeah.
He said we're all broken. The trick is making sure that we can get ourselves fixed.
It's getting that electrical tape to put us back together.
Yeah, the spiritual duct tape, if you will.
Yes.
And I just
tape.
and I just gotta say, Joe, being a part of that stream meant the world to me. And I just thanks, man. Anytime you need us, we're there.
Wow. Appreciate that. And overcoming something like that, I mean, you can just from your own personal experiences, you can see how much of an impact bringing awareness and support and resources to everyone really benefits everybody. There's resources for multiple resources for supporting people that have gone through self-harm, and then also support for the families or friends that had a loved one hurt themselves. It's hard putting it into words from your own personal experiences, but we can't thank you enough for coming on with us and helping us spread the nonprofit and awareness and let everybody know they're not alone. And that's one of the biggest things. One thing I do want to say is there is no cure for anything, but there is ways to live with it and also learn from it. And
it's kind of a clinical word, but I would say manage it.
Right. I mean there is management. You can definitely manage.
Right. But it's
different aspect.
But completely changing gears. I mean, like I said, this is the casual part of the show where we're opening up to chat. We're off scripting and just riffing.
Part of the chat, not part of the podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
How long have you been a Destiny player? How long have you been playing this game?
God. I am one of those guys that gets on a game and I will play that game until it's dead. And I am a huge BioShock fan.
Preach, baby.
Huge,
preach. Talk to me. I just finished BioShock 2. I just finished the and I do know there are multiple endings, but I had the ending. I guess the only way you can describe it is it's the feel good, touching ending. Spoiler alert coming up for those of you who haven't played BioShock, where she basically takes her dad's, I guess his soul, and uses its atom and puts it into her body. So she's looking at he's seeing her through the viewport, and then she drives the needle into him, and suddenly the perspectives change. And I'm crying.
That's
I am weeping. I'm like, this is beautiful. What a game.
I wanted to see more Rapture in the latest one. Rapture, I think, it's gorgeous. I love that underwater city.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's so awesome. I love that age that they were into. It was like the 30s. Oh, God, it was just such a wonderful game.
It had a touch of steampunk, a touch of diesel punk, and I was eating it up. I was eating it up. It was just an amazing. So what I've been doing on my Fridays is that I switched games. So I went from, so I started playing Tomb Raider, the rebooted Tomb Raider, and then I did BioShock 1 remastered. Never played BioShock before. Loved it. Then I did Rise of the Tomb Raider. Had a blast with that. Then I just finished BioShock 2. And then right after I finished BioShock 2, I took a deep breath and I said, okay, let's see what Shadow of the Tomb Raider is like. And I'm only a few episodes, a few like missions in, but I'm just like, I'm loving this. I'm loving it. And the plan is after I finish Shadow, I'm gonna break into the remastered BioShock Infinite and see what that's like. And
nice.
Because I played BioShock Infinite before, never playing BioShock 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And now I'm going back and doing it, and I'm just I can't. I understand now why people are clamoring for a return to Rapture. I get it now.
I love it. I got the books, the graphic novels, whatever. I got art pieces that are centered around the big daddies, the little sisters, everything.
Yep.
And in the first game, you were nervous coming up to the Big Daddies, but then in the second game you were a Big Daddy.
Yeah.
And you started to, and those sisters or whatever they were fast.
They were fast and nasty.
Yep, and I did not like them at all. But
the ones I didn't like were the alphas. The alphas were just, they played dirty. I would take out one guy and I would be getting damaged. And I'm like, this guy isn't damaging me. And I turn around and there's an alpha charging at me.
Yep.
I'm like, you jerk. I did not like those guys one iota. Not one iota.
But did you like the return to like the simplicity of controls? Like there's not a lot of buttons to push in BioShock. It's, pick up, drop, and 2-3 weapons. Like it was pretty basic.
What I thought was amazing about BioShock, and I said this repeatedly on my streams, it's hard to believe that is a 10-year-old game.
Right?
It just feels like it could have been invented. It could have been developed and released like last year. And the fact that this was, I can only imagine what it had been like 10 years ago. And this game shows up, and people pop it in, and they're like, and they're just lost in this world. I mean, it was terrifying. It was creepy. It was, especially in BioShock 2, when you go into when you see what the little sisters see. When you see what they see, I was freaking out. I just was like, I have got to stop this game and pee. I have got to go have a pee, because right now I am flipping out. And it was just, it was crazy pants good. Crazy pants good. I think we've lost Nick and Brandon.
No, but to bring it back around to the original question, because I love BioShock, and then I was going to go into Dead Space, love Dead Space 2, but I got in at the beta of Destiny 1, and it was because of my brother, and he was just like my brother and my brother-in-law, and they're both these two guys that looked at the outside poster of, GameStop, like, look at that, it's supposed to be a pretty good game. You should get it. Oh, there's a lot of good things. Oh, Bungie made it. They made Halo. It's going to be great. And it's like, meh, I'm playing this still, whatever. I ended up reserving it. I got into the beta, and I'm like, this is awesome. And I've been playing through, and you know what? I was never went through Destiny 1 vanilla, and it was like, that was it. But you know what? The game doesn't end like BioShock or anything. You can keep playing. I'm like, this was such a neat concept to me, outside of like Modern Warfare, where it's like, what do you got next? PvP. Well, for this, it's like you can keep running around the planets. I'm like, this is cool. And I used to make fun in the tower, like, look at that guy over there. He's got a mohawk, think he's cool and this and that. And my brother's like, no, have you read anything? I'm like, read what? He goes, the lore. I go, what lore? He goes, oh, you look into the tabs and this and that. And he started to bring me into like the grimoire and all that. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize that was a button there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy crow. And I went into it and I fell in love with Saint 14. It was the first piece of I ever read was about that helmet, and I felt terrible picking on people with it because I wore it all the time after that. And it's always been in my arsenal, is that helmet, because I think it's a great resource, especially if you're a bubble titan. Having somebody, especially in PvE, it's just such a great defensive class. And I really love what they did in Destiny 2, but I have played through every single drought and you name it since beta all the way up to current, but it's not my original name. So I didn't get the tryout for carrying it over. I had a break when PS4 came out, and I was actually bit the bullet and bought a PS4. It was right around Taken King, and I'm like, the graphics are supposed to be great, and this and that is going to be awesome. So I started on PS3. And it's pretty disturbing that we're going to be playing Destiny from PS3, PS4, and pretty soon PS5. So there's a lot of years behind this franchise. But I got into the game, and I'm like, okay, I got to do PlayStation Plus. It didn't click in my head at the moment. I'm like, well, I dropped another $50 or $60 on a new one. I'm like, oh, I got to make another screen name. And I did that. I'm like, man, I got to grind this all out over again. And that weekend, my brother, somebody's like, why are you like 117? Where's all your stuff? I'm like, oh, well, I got a PS4 now, and I have to grind everything back up. They're like, why didn't you just put in your last name, like the one carry it over? I go, you can do that. And they're like, yeah, you can. And I started Destiny with my name used to be Mountain Gear. I was a personal climbing instructor for Cornell University.
Oh, wow.
And the story behind it was Mountain Gear is actually an establishment where I used to get a lot of my climbing gear. So I just made it as my screen name, and I had it from Halo all the way up through. But Taken King is when I switched it over to Average Joe, because I always looked at myself as just an average Joe gamer, player, person, and it fit so well. And I never went back to Mountain Gear. So I abandoned all of that progress and everything and just dedicated myself to building this up. But thankfully I was able to carry it over, and I learned my lesson that PlayStation Plus does carry over.
Yeah. Shock on that. Did you get, by the way...
I played a ton on Brandon's account for like the first almost 2 years, right?
I think it's 2.5.
Two and a half years.
Yeah.
Because we like to do completely different things. So when you're trying to get all your triumphs, and Brandon's in the Crucible apparently before it was busted, and he's doing all the stuff that he likes to do, and I'm not a PvP guy by any stretch of the imagination, but I'll go ghost hunting for days.
Oh, and ghost hunting! You got me on the ghost hunting on the ghost hunting thing.
So much
fun,
man. I love it because I was have been sort of the resident lore guy, and I'm nowhere near what some of these other guys are who are known for it. But that was the thing that I loved about the game is just getting, oh cool, there's a piece of lore. But let's see how this connects to this and tells the whole story. Even like I thought that was probably one of the best things about Season of the Drifter. Was the whole thing with the 9.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get like, ooh, what have I been missing all this time about this guy? And now that you go Sun's back because of the moon.
Yep.
Like, that's just stuff.
And they did what I said they should do.
Which was?
Was the stories from the Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it had... I said there should be, like, cutscenes, but, like, I think the audio of it is just a good choice.
Yeah. Cheaper to produce.
That too, yeah.
So, yeah, and then I got my own account, and then I don't know if you've ever heard the story about how Stacia wound up playing. So she was the reason we initially even bought Destiny. This was 20...
Whenever the first year was.
Whenever the first Christmas.
Yeah.
And she watched the commercials, and she was like, that looks amazing. So we bought the game, we bought a PlayStation, and then she got completely tripped up over how many controls there were. And so she stopped playing, and Brandon started playing. And then 2-3 years later, when she found the one little button for invert controls, and now she loves it. Now she'll just she just warlock and just grab it, and that's the end of that for hours on end.
Although it's really a stitch about your wife, your mom, is same person,
yeah.
which is when so she's playing warlock. She's always wearing Wings of Sacred Dawn.
Yep.
She's not taking advantage of it.
She never uses it. It
because
looks cool.
it just looks cool. And I'm like,
she wants to throw flaming swords down on people.
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
That's all she wants to do.
I cannot.
The reason I don't wear the helmet saying 14 is because I will not give up my feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I did get it, like when I was playing.
Really?
Pulled it from
Oh,
Black
yeah.
Ops.
That's why?
Dude, I love you. You have no
He is going
idea.
to look. Nick Kelly is going to be buried in a feedback fence. We know this for a
My
fact.
type, when they finally shut down the last Destiny server, that's what he'll be wearing.
Oh, yeah.
But I do nothing but melee, and I'm always in the middle of everything while these guys are picking apart the stuff that matters. I'm just a crowd control dude, and so that's.
Have you put on Peregrine Greaves? I mean, that is like a Saint 14 armor piece. It was made for him to test out, and you can do some serious damage with those things.
Well, I know you're going to get that finisher where he's coming up from downtown and just and the uppercut.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know you're probably going to also get that headbutt one.
So
That's a Matt Murdock move. You know
That's the
that.
level 10 one
Yeah.
for the season pass. You'll get it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you exactly what I'm looking forward to, which was the
We should be.
We should probably record this.
Yes.
and then I'll tell you my alternative.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
We gotta talk about
Tell Joe how we can make it.
That's true. We also do have to talk about finishers.
Oh, we will talk about finishers. I'm sure it's in the notes. The copious amount of notes.
Yep.
All right. So we're gonna.
So he's going to start the music. He's going to say, we're back to Happy Hour from the Tower. He's going to say, I'm T. I'm going to say, I'm Nick. Brandon's going to say, I'm Brandon. And then you're going to say, and I'm Joe. Or Average Joe. Or however you want to introduce yourself.
So be listening for that faint. I'm Brandon.
I can shout it.
Please do. but not in the microphone.
Not in the microphone. All right, here we go. All right. In 3, 2. And we are back with the second half of Happy Hour from the Tower. I'm T.
I'm Nick.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Joe.
There it is.
There it is.
Look at that.
See, we got this.
One
we got
take.
this.
One take, Guardians.
Good luck, Guardians. All right, so we are back. We're here to talk about, now that we've had a chance to kind of ease our way into
It wasn't ease. No, we went straight into the negatives. That wasn't easing
we
into it.
did cover the negatives because I think it did need to be covered. But now we're going to talk about what we're really stoked about. We're going to talk about the season of Dawn, the return of well, as we have said.
They call me the greatest titan who ever lived.
And I drink vodka from a rusty cup.
We used to cover The Trooper by Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
And there's a line in the song that is, and the Russians fire another round, but we always sang it, and the Russians buy another round. That's what we always do.
So,
Did anybody peg Saint 14 for being a Russian or Slovak?
No. Or
having that accent?
Mesopotamian.
Yeah.
Or Spartan, yeah.
That threw me for a loop. I mean, like, I had to listen to it a couple times.
The problem is, though, with that particular accent, all I can hear is the guy from the beginning of John Wick Chapter 2 who goes, "He killed a man with a pencil. Who does this?" But I feel like they should be saying that about Saint 14.
You could get, you could also get the two brothers from the season 1 of Daredevil, but one of them plays European George Clooney.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, and see, it all comes back to Daredevil.
It all-
Hashtag Daredevil.
all roads come back. All roads go back to Daredevil. It's a trap. Anyway,
I got to see him live on Broadway a couple weeks ago. I'm very excited.
yeah. Charlie Cox, you saw both Daredevil and Loki.
Yes, I
and
did.
Loki, and you
Yes,
said it was
I
quite
did.
good.
It was quite tense. We'll talk about that on another podcast.
I love that podcast. So let's talk about the return of Saint 14. Let's talk about the season of Dawn.
Can we talk about imagining if, you know that the end cutscene of Shadowkeep where it's like we are your salvation cutscene?
Yeah.
Could you imagine that, but with Saint 14?
We are your salvation. I'm like, what? We are looking for the nuclear vessels of Alameda.
You need to see Trevor Noah do his thing about speaking Russian. If you haven't seen it from his stand-up special,
Oh, really?
he's like, if you like when you're standing, you're like, man, I just feel like this guy's up to something. And then you listen to it a little more when they start speaking Russian. You're like, oh, no, it just sounds good. He's remixing like he's a DJ. And then he goes and does it all, and you're like, oh, this guy's brilliant. So
Yeah.
okay. So Joe's going to talk about Saint 14 because it's his favorite.
So we're going to have Joe take the lead about Saint 14. Joe, what can you tell us?
Surprise!
Welcome to the show.
Yes.
Joe, what can you tell us about the legend that is Saint 14?
First of all, he was known as, dude, I'm such a big Saint 14 fan. If you could look through, like, my office, it's, like, covered in Saint 14 stuff. Like, I have...
Saint
a nut.
14 approves of this.
Yeah, I bet. He would, too. He would look at me at, like, the brother Vance to Osiris.
But I like you.
Brother
I-
Joe.
Yeah.
Your brother
That's a little
Joe.
shot to myself.
No, he is Comrade Joe. He is
Comrade
Comrade Joe. I am Saint
digging
14,
this accent.
and you are Comrade Joe.
I hate it.
I have vodka ready for you. Let us drink in my memory, because I am a one bad ass. Please
The only
continue.
problem with that accent is that for centuries he would have been fighting the Wex.
Bring me the Wex. I'm going to take the Wex, and I'm going. It is the Vex. It is the Vex.
I just killed
Yes, I said that.
That's what
the
I
Wex.
said.
Now bring the Wex to me, or I'm going to get some. Look, I'm going to go wait for the Wex on the nuclear whistle. So you take care of that.
All right, check off. Right it up.
I'm sorry, Joe. You were saying?
Totally went for it. I love it. But Saint 14, from what I know of him, he's one of the greatest Titans that ever lived. He's one of the most famous Titans in the Last City. He served as a short time as the Vanguard commander, and he's a guardian of the people for the people. I mean, he's just a badass, like you said. has a strange relationship with the speaker from Destiny 1 in the beginning of, vanilla Destiny 2. He always looked to him and called him father, and he always looked at Osiris as brother, and they always had a very strong bond together. He also went on, I don't want to say crusades or anything like that, but he went on missions to take out the Fallen on Earth, and he killed the Devil's Kel. What was his name? Solkris, in the most badass way ever, and I'll get to that in a second. But he also fought during the Battle of Six Fronts. He pretty much, if you don't know anything about the Battle of Six Fronts, I would definitely suggest looking into it, because Bungie has added some new lore about the Battle of Six Fronts that make it a little more interesting. But I want to get back to that Kel that he killed. The lore behind that, I'm not going to hit it, but he was such a badass. He went in on this so-called crusade, went after the Fallen, found Devil's Kel, and told his ghost, be at the ready, you'll know when, and never told his ghost anything else. Went down there and started fighting the Fallen, let them kill him. Well, the Fallen killed the Guardian. They're all excited. The Kel grabs him, holds him above his head. People are, all the Fallen are cheering around him. Yeah, we got one. We got him. And all of a sudden, his ghost comes down, revives him. He hits the ground and headbutts the Kel to death. Right there. One shot. And if you look at the Saint 14 helm, there's a dent in the helmet from that hit. It was so devastating.
Never noticed.
And that's got to be the most epic part about, little tidbit about the Saint 14 helm right there. It's a huge dent right in the side of it. He hit him so hard, he
I could see it.
brought him to his knees. But without going further into anything else with the comics and stuff like that, and the more recent, Saint 14's been around for a long time, and he's always been, if there was ever a Guardian there wouldn't have been any Guardian more. He literally was the just most badass, and I don't even have the words to describe at the moment.
I would say revered. He was revered. He's like the George Washington of Guardians. He is
with slightly fewer slaves.
With slightly fewer slaves, yes. Absolutely.
And that's
wow.
The other
way to bring it down there, Brandon.
The other sort of like where the hell did this come from thing that we got was after the Bungie stream last Wednesday, was they announced starting that day that we're getting a new lore blog every day leading up to Season of Dawn.
Right.
And there have been 4 so far, and they've been like, wait, what? Why is the Drifter here? Like, they're like, you keep going, and the very first one is about the ribbons. Right, Joe?
I didn't read that one.
Oh, you need to right now. No,
I was looking.
We weren't recording. I'd say we'll pause it. You can do it right now.
Oh yeah.
You got to read that one, because that one.
Whenever I read,
that was a gut punch for me. I was like,
whenever I read stuff like that, whenever I read like the lore that they come up with, I'm just like, why can't I work for these people? Right? That would be such a dream job. It'd be such just a dream job. But yeah, they're bringing out new lore. Yeah. They're basically sending us into a mission where Osiris is going to be basically leading us through time, and somewhere in the middle of all this, Saint 14 is returned, and it is up to us to help Saint 14.
No, that's why the sundial is built.
Right.
Is so that Saint 14 can cheat death, and that is one of the lines. It's like they built it so an ally of mine could cheat death.
And we did this because we killed the Undying Mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? To get back to the fact that it's
which
like
makes,
our actions drive the story.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because the Undying Mind was a strike in D1.
Yes, it was.
Which was part of that. So
right.
Yeah. So it's all coming. All coming back.
That was the other thing that you pointed out. I'm right in my camera with my finger right here. Was there's no better name than the Perfect Paradox.
Oh yeah.
Because Saint 14 has said all along, Young Wolf, right, that it'll be you who brings you back.
Yeah.
You know, before, so we had to have existed before him and after him in order for this to happen. And it's like, wow,
my head hurts. My head hurts.
Yeah, but it's not. It's better than just like. And this happened because timey-wimey, like the cop-out, the time travel. We've seen people use in the past.
Right.
But this is like, no, man, they knew.
No, it's written out. Like, we are his... What I've read is that we are his initial trainer, and he trained us. Like,
so cool.
Yeah. It's such a... that's why it's the Perfect Paradox, is because, like, we built it... So we build the Perfect Paradox in Curse of Osiris.
Mm-hmm.
And that's...
So crazy.
Yeah. It's leading up to Season of Dawn.
Perfect Paradox. Yeah. I mean, that lore piece alone, like, it's just like, wait, we did that. So is this, are we going to see ourselves handing it back to him? And is it going to be the Perfect Paradox come full circle?
I don't know.
We have to find out.
Maybe that's...
It's just... It really is.
Okay, wait.
I feel like, and I've said this before, with every, especially after Taken King, it just feels like that their storytelling has been getting sharper and sharper and sharper. And speaking from experience, when you deal with time travel, there's a lot of things there are a lot of ends that you have to tie up to make sure that everything works, which is why I thought Curse of Osiris was going to be something that it fell very short of. I was very disappointed in the writing of it, but then it started to come back around with Warmind. Shadowkeep, of course, Forsaken was astounding. Shadowkeep is great, but this has the potential of really ramping it up. And then, of course, where is this going to lead? That's the beauty of it, because that's the whole point of Season of the Undying. Season of the Undying is like, okay, where is it leading to? Oh, it's leading to the Dawn, and the way it ties in is just it's.
And then the season after the Season of Dawn is Brandon's birthday week. So
we're
like,
it's 2 days after my birthday.
Hey.
So we were asking in the drive over here, like, okay, so what's your wish list? If you could be in charge of the season, like, what activities would you want? Would you want locations? Do you want the Allegiance Quest to mean something? Do you?
Yes.
I know you do. You've wanted it since we went. So but it was like, that'd be a good question for chat, or to hit us up on Twitter over the period of time. If your birthday gift from Bungie was a season of your top 3 things that you want, what would they be? Right? Maybe we'll put that in Twitter.
Yeah.
Maybe. So where do we want to begin? Where do we want to begin about the Season of the Dawn? Where do we begin?
So go ahead.
I would say actually I would start where, not the season. Everything that's going to come to not the season pass. So everything that we're going to get at launch.
That's a good idea.
Everything that's going to come, but not to the season pass. Is that
what
you just said to me?
Yeah, that's what he said. So bring it in. What are we doing?
All right. So I have well, maybe I do. Hold on. I have 3 pages of notes, but only 2 of them printed. I'm very upset. Very upset. No, 3's low.
3 is low.
Oh.
when he says copious amount of notes on the podcast, he is not kidding around. He is not kidding around.
Oh, okay, I got it. Okay, so here's what happens.
Here we go.
So starting on Tuesday, December 10th. So all the players get the new artifact, the Lantern of Osiris. Thank you for reading my brain there. The Solar Sub class updates, which I'll go into detail. Yes. The PvP mode elimination, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to reprise the PvP map, which is Rusted Lands. And then the obelisks on the Tangled Shore and Mars open.
Mm.
And
which we don't actually have.
You get the Sundial PvE mode, and then the first enemy in Sundial, which is the Hollow Voice. I'm not pronouncing strange things.
Yeah, I have no idea how to do that.
That's fine. So that's day 1. Okay?
Which is missing something.
Because a
week
after
that.
Yes, the obelisks open on Nessus and EZ. The Sundial enemy number 2, the Sky Piercer, comes out, and the Dawning starts that week, and then the mission to save Saint 14 starts that week. So it starts the 17th, not the 10th.
Which is why some people have been complaining.
No, we're not doing it.
No, I know. I'm saying it's just that's like the last thing that people have been complaining
about. So basically, the time between the 10th and the 17th is more like a warm-up.
It's the introduction of the season. Yeah.
And then
it's to introduce all the Eververse items,
right.
like finishers.
Hold on, I'll get there.
We're gonna get to that.
I know.
I said we would.
I'm
I
just
said we
really
would.
excited for
Christmas
this.
Eve, Iron Banner, and then the third villain, who's the Sun Eater, Tesseract the Sun Eater. Then nothing on New Year's Day, and then January 7th, we get the legendary version of the Sundial. We get the exotic quest for the Devil's Ruin, which is what, Brandon?
A sidearm.
Which you don't approve of.
I'm excited to see what it does.
Okay.
And
And then,
If it's anything like the Rat King, I'll be thrilled because I finally unlocked the whole notion of what the Rat King could do. When I got
I'm trying to think of some exotic sidearms from D1. Joe might have to help me on that.
I don't remember any exotic.
There were definitely.
Sturm and
sure.
Strang weren't exotics, right? They were legendary.
Sturm was one. Strang is a legendary.
Sturm, yeah. And what was it? Sturm and Drum?
Drang.
Yeah.
Drang.
All right, moving on. Then there's nothing for 2 weeks after that, and then January 28th, there's the exotic quest for the Bastion.
Yep.
Which looks badass.
Which is a St. 14 gun. If you look at the
Was that,
graphics.
was, that,
And
was,
fusion
that,
rifle.
was that that purple one
Yeah,
that had
yeah,
the?
with
Yeah,
charge down the center.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
No, that was a scout rifle.
Was that?
There's one we get right away, which is the
Symmetry, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this. Okay. So one's a pulse rifle, one's a VD rifle. I think. But I could be
You
wrong.
get scout, sidearm, and then fusion rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. February 4th, the Empyrean Foundation, and then the fourth villain, which is Inotam Oblivion's Tribute. I don't know what the Empyrean Foundation is.
It's got to be the Undying Mind of the season.
Right.
Of like the lead into the next season thing.
Okay.
And then
Crimson Days is the
February
last.
11th to 18th is Crimson Days. That's the last thing that they put on the calendar.
And then after that is the content drought. And then it's the next season. That's not a joke. That's
And
just.
no, I love that it's a call.
It's a formula,
I
yeah.
got it. Okay, so that's the calendar of events.
Right.
All right, so let me tell you some other things that are changing to the game, and you guys can speak up if you have speak ups to speak up about.
Speak ups.
Yes. Repeatable bounties added to the Gunsmith. The Gunsmith, Strike, Crucible, and Gambit bounties are merged into one, so you can do progress at any of those to count to completion. There's new Crucible-specific daily bounties. They've removed the grenade and melee bounties from repeatable Crucible pool, and they reduced completion requirements of several other bounties. It's like other duties is assigned, right?
Right.
Okay. Changes to the solar subclasses. Striker Code of the Missile. So your Thunder Crash damage, for those of us who love to do Thunder Crash damage, up from 2,700 to 3,200 points. And then your in-flight damage up from 100 to 200. And then there's a slight increase to the time in air after activation. Night Stalker, Way of the Pathfinder.
Yeah.
For your Vanish in Smoke, they added a short period after invisibility is applied where weapons or actions will not break invisibility. Okay?
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
for the Voidwalker Attunement of Vision, they basically adjusted the grenade time to line up with the animation so it's less confusing.
The handheld supernova.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Handheld support. Okay.
Yes.
Those aren't the solar ones, though.
Well, those are adjustments.
Yes.
Sorry, you're right. Those are not solar ones. Okay.
But every solar one got a whole rework.
Yes,
At least one of the trees did for each of them.
that's right.
Yeah.
Go read the notes.
Oh yeah.
Crucible maps. So Rusted Lands gets added, and then they have added to the playlist. They've added the Dead Cliffs, Legion's Gulch, Retribution, and Solitude, and they have removed Emperor's Respite, Equinox, Firebase Echo, and Vostok, but those are still available in private matches.
They're doing a season rotation of Crucible maps
Oh, okay.
Yes.
to lessen the pool of annoying maps,
Yeah. Now,
because all of them are annoying maps.
couple.
Hey, I like Vostok. I do. I have a soft spot.
The
in
only
my-
reason I like it is the nostalgia factor.
Okay.
It's
Hold
not-
on. So now, two more things, and then we'll
Sorry.
open it up and talk about anything that you guys want to talk about. Finishers. Okay. First thing is on Eververse. So first of all, you will no longer get duplicate purchases of items from Eververse. If you have them, you already have them. And then here's an interesting change. So there are still some things in the game that are only purchasable through silver, and they do that because they need incremental revenue so that they can continue to build things like Whisper of the Worm and that cool type of stuff.
Yeah.
But last season,
I really hope there's one of those this season. I'm sorry.
I know you do. So last season, 50% of the items that were available for silver were also available at some time for Bright Dust.
Right.
This season, that's going to go up to 80%.
Okay.
So there'll be only 20% of the items total that are available for silver will be exclusively for silver.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, that was it on Eververse. And now here we go. Last thing, no longer available after reset. Once this season comes to an end, here are the activities and loot sources that will become unavailable. Here are some notable callouts.
Honorable mentions.
Undying's free and premium season rewards, including the acquisition for Ariana's Vow, though that will be coming back in some future form that they've noted. Like, that quest doesn't completely disappear.
Yeah, the Catalyst.
Right.
The Ariana Vow's Catalyst quest, same thing. Okay, Vex Offensive match-made activity, gone. Vex Invasions on the Moon, gone. Vex Weapon data seeds for Mycora, gone. Gatelord's Eye seasonal artifact, obviously gone.
Yeah.
Power bonuses granted from the seasonal artifact will be gone, so you have to start over with your
Lantern of Osiris.
Lantern of Osiris. Thank you.
And so everyone's back at 950 if you were...
Right.
Season-specific triumphs, seals, and titles. And yeah, so 960 and 970 are the...
960 is the new regular cap.
Yeah.
970 is the new
power.
Pinnacle cap.
Pinnacle. Power and Pinnacle. Powerful Pinnacle, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Which is like only endgame activities.
So you guys can comment on any of those things, or just say screw it and let's talk about finishers.
What about sparrows on Mercury? Come on, guys. We have sparrows on Mercury now.
Sparrows on the smallest map that you could possibly have them on.
Hey, and
See,
everybody
I don't know why that was such a big thing. You know, like
No sparrows?
Yeah, I mean, you could go off to the right, drop down from the spawn point, and kill one of the Cabal guys and take his little
Interceptor.
armed
but
sparrow
the
and ride that
interceptors-
around.
those interceptors are so damn slow.
It's
a
for-
little
you
thing.
Can,
It's a
you
little
could
thing.
run faster than you could get. By the time you get your sparrow out, you get on it and you start hauling, you're at the other side of the map already.
So here's
running.
Well, here's my question: have they made Mercury's map bigger?
No.
Oh, okay. So I have two things about sparrows. One, I think that they should have sparrows on Titan, but only in one spot, and you can only drive into the sea. That was my first thought.
You can have sparrows on Titan.
Yeah, but I only want them in one spot. I want it reduced to one launch pad where you can just drive into the sea. That's it. And then here's my second thing. If they don't bring back Sparrow Racing League, and this will dovetail into what you want to talk about, Brandon, instead, we do basically a shot put record. The shot put record is how far you can launch an enemy with a finisher. And then there are different tiers of... It's like the bat in Super Smash.
Yeah.
Right.
Because in the Tangled Shore, you could launch a dude into space. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Well, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen
I've
it.
done it. So that was my idea. If we don't bring Sparrow Racing League, we do like Alien Shot Put League or something. I don't know. But we'll do something where it's... Like,
Yeah.
There's different tiers. You get bronze, silver, and gold.
So what exactly did you want to talk about with with finishers? What was
Just
the thing?
the fact that it's a new season, and since the first time we've ever had finishers were Shadowkeep and Season of the Undying,
Yes.
this is the first ever time we've had new finishers introduced to the game.
Right.
Yeah. The
And
Street
it's-
Fighter finishers.
Yes. But it's also not only like 3.
Oh, no.
Because before it was 4. It was the Belgian flying kick, the Haymaker, Whirlwind, and then whatever the other one was. I don't remember. It wasn't a kick. Was
Palm
it?
Hill?
No, that was the whatever.
Well,
Whatever it was, the one that no one uses. But this time, I think we've seen. It might be 5.
So we've definitely seen at least 4 because we've seen
Yes,
the
and
Pele
then
kick.
we've had a preview of a 5th one because it was
Well,
in the
I'll
menu.
tee you up for that. So
Yeah.
we had the Pele kick, we had the uppercut,
Yep.
we had the straight punch,
And then the Kel Breaker.
and then the Kel Breaker, which is the name of the headbutt.
Yes.
Which ties right back to the lore that friggin' Joe
Yep.
just
Right.
But there was one called what, Brandon?
Sure shot.
Sure Shot. It was in the menu during the stream, but the guy didn't
The
demo it.
one he didn't preview. And the icon is a hunter holding a golden gun doing this. And that's it. That's all we saw. It was just this. But it's a finisher with
It's a finisher.
gun.
It's a finisher with a gun.
Yes. So I'm really interested to see what that one is, and I know
Yeah.
for a fact
Yeah.
I'm going to be using it for the entire season.
But you don't have to use it alone. There's
You
no
don't.
longer one button.
Yeah.
To,
Yep.
I saw
I'm
that.
looking at everybody. We're so stupid excited about this. You could create a finisher playlist.
Yes.
Yes. So if there's ones that you like or ones that you don't like, you can put them on the playlist.
Right. So it's a little bit like the emotes. Yeah, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
except you don't get to pick. You get to choose which ones you like,
and
favorite them,
then they're random.
and then they're random
Randomized.
every time you. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of dig that.
So do
I
I.
do
That's
like
what
that.
they needed.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the finishers have not gotten old.
No.
I love those.
It's
things.
so satisfying. It's just in
It's
order
very
to
satisfying.
change it up and keep it from staying refreshing
Yeah,
is to make it able to do that.
yeah.
Because it's still a choice if you just want to do one.
right.
Then-
Right.
Joe's just going to headbutt everything.
Oh, yeah.
Did we lose him? Is he still here?
No, I think he's still there. Joe, you still there? Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm still here. Oh, there's a lot of red lights outside my office, so I had to take a look real quick.
Oh, jeez. So you're sure you're okay, right?
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay, good. So
and I will headbutt everything.
This episode brought to you by 911 on Fox.
There you go. So, but was there anything else, anything in specific that we wanted to mention or talk about?
Sundial.
I know it's random, but something I'm really excited to see are the new exotic ornaments that they have this season. Because last week was like the Wormhusk had the Gate Lord one, and then the every class had one specific exotic ornament that was Vex based.
Right.
Which makes me think this one's going to be Cabal based.
I know what I want to talk about.
Oh no.
Pigeons.
You really want to talk about how Saint 14 is actually the Mike
14.
Tyson. He's the Mike Tyson of the Guardian lore. Is that what you're trying to say?
Pigeons. And it was so funny because even before Joe knew he was coming on today, he put a quote from Saint 14 about how pigeons are the last birds on Earth and maybe the only thing that we're protecting.
Oh my God!
And as much as I bitch about the pigeons in the tower every single time, I'm like, yeah, he's kind of right.
They're the last flying, last birds in the last city on Earth. And if you got a problem, we can go in the crucible.
No.
There you go. There you go. So,
Hilarious.
That was the quote. No. That was the quote.
Really? That's the actual quote?
It's the quote.
Yeah, that was the quote from Saint 14.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. So I mean, all this is very promising.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm hoping to be a little more active in this than I was in the season of the Undying. The first, I came out of the box strong when Shadowkeep dropped, and then after that, I just kind of fell off the map.
Even before that, there was stuff with with Mara Sov that you just didn't get to because life and deadlines.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just it's as frustrating as it is. I mean, I'm thrilled that we have this much content to deal with.
Oh yeah.
We're now. I mean, I'm actually hearing people complain that there's too much to do in Destiny, and I'm sitting there going, "Well, you can't have it both ways.
You cannot
cannot have it both ways. It's either going to be you're either going to be like, well, there's nothing to do in Destiny, or I don't know where to begin."
Can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
Because this is the debate. No, this is one of the 17 debates Brandon and I had on the drive over here. Do you think that's still Oded Fair voicing Osiris?
I think so.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
It sounded like it.
I think I'm thrown off by the Nolan North doing such a good Cade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it the same?
I think it is. I think it is Oded Fair. I'm pretty sure it's Oded Fair. I mean, I think Nolan North is talented. I think Nolan North is talented. I don't think he's that talented.
I didn't say it was him, but I wouldn't have thought Peter Stormare was going to be Devrim after being the Russian in Daredevil. So he's everything. His admin's hilarious, by the way. So shout out to her. But I'm still trying to get him on the show.
Good man. Keep going. Keep doing it.
Yep.
So
I was curious, but it was cool to see him. Even if it is him, especially, it'd be great. But again, for that soundtrack and the visual look of Mercury is cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does.
But to have that plus now like the ribbons and all the Saint 14 themed ornaments, is going to make all of us like, I gotta get to 100. I gotta get to 100. I gotta get to 100.
Yeah, I am. I'm looking forward to this. So so we need to wrap up.
Yep.
Joe, was there anything in closing you wanted to say about either Guardians MH or about the upcoming season of Dawn? What are you looking forward to? Anything in particular?
I could talk about this all night. I really can. I'm a huge Destiny fan. Always have been. Always will be. I will play it until... Having Saint 14 is like my brain exploded. Like our clinical director sent me a private message and goes, "Did you watch it?" I was like, "Watch what?" I was at work in like a market tour. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I had to go out to my vehicle and watch this, and I freaked out.
I bet.
Saint 14 is just he's such a personal character to so many people. He means so much to not just, the world of Destiny, but, the world that they created. People relate and love this character. To have this iconic character come back, people I feel are more hyped about Saint 14's return than they were Osiris's return.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
completely.
And what would this be if they didn't bring back, Saint 14? Would it still have that punch that, it needs to keep growing and, keep, continuing on? That's a different topic for another conversation down the road. But just real quick, if you ever want to reach out and find us, guardiansmh.org, you can find us there, and we have plenty of resources there. We have a Discord. It's pinned to our Twitter, and you're not alone. And we always available, and we'll talk anytime. I really don't know what more to say.
No. It is
I'm literally on Saint 14 mode. Like, he's on my computer. I'm like staring at it.
Can you imagine, like imagine the Season of Dawn announcements without Saint 14?
Exactly.
Would any of us be like, dude, oh my god, I can't wait. For what would be the big draw? Like, the Sundial looks cool, and like mashing the Vex simulations, past, present, future together in one activity would be cool too. But I'm with you, dude. Like, it's all about.
It's too much of a draw.
I think Bungie was being smart about this.
Yeah.
They were like, this
but it's also not just for this season. There's a reason they're bringing him back.
Oh yeah.
For storytelling purposes.
Right. I want to get into this too.
Because we were discussing earlier, there's a chance he doesn't stay for the rest of Destiny.
It's possible
because he's the most martyr-like character ever.
So, but here's an interesting thought, and again, something that everybody in the room and Joe also, who've been playing this game for as long as we have, we talked about not just the size of the content, but the emotional investment drop-off between the season where we got Forsaken and we had Cayde. God, it was all about Cayde, and it was something that Brandon was in his room like, I am going to murder all of these guys. And then the next season was, who's Ada? She's been in the basement this whole time? And he bumped into her and turned her on. And then we got Eris. And a bunch of us were like, holy crap, Eris. And it's a horror movie on the moon. This is going to be crazy. And now we got Saint 14 coming back. And it's like, this game is well enough that we're super nostalgic about characters we haven't seen in a couple of years.
Yeah.
And
or ever met.
Right, not right. The only that we've heard stories.
Yes.
Of, right? Or, but like this game has that longevity and depth. Not just who's the next big bad guy with yet a lower base than the last guy who we can go fight. Like, I thought the stuff on the moon was way scarier than Gaul, and I thought Gaul was terrifying. You know, so I like that it's not just like you said, it's peaks and valleys. You can't just continuously.
No, you can't. But and I think that's something that I'm.
Which is why I think next season might be a lull. Like, there's gonna be something different about the next season that's gonna make no sense whatsoever to what we just did. That's gonna come right back to the last one.
Stranger comes back.
Oh man! Hey, you know what? Anything is possible at this moment. Anything is possible at this moment, and I think, and I know I may be beating a drum about this, but I wonder how much of this storytelling, the way they're doing it, the way they're planning it, how much of this is Bungie been, how long they've been wanting to do it this way.
A 0 to 100% percentage.
Yeah.
How much blame or how much credit do you put on Bungie/Activision over that big lull, which was, the story was so frayed. Like Joe just said, the Stranger comes back. You know what? Where's Aldrin? Like, hello?
Well, I mean, Aldrin,
Where's Aldrin? Where's Mara?
Yeah.
Where's the Drifter's Darkness coin?
Yeah.
Like,
all that. I mean, there are all these things in play, and
everybody's fired up with this. I love it so much.
I'm seeing. I'm like, I really love how they're just slowly going. Well, we're going to give you this to think about. We're going to give you this to think about. Don't worry, we know what we're doing. I mean,
the lore entry, the blog lore entry titled "The Sundial," where it's Osiris and Sakira, and all of a sudden the Drifter shows up, and I'm like, you mother.
Well, he knows something. He knows what's in the middle of it.
I know.
Which is why I'm thinking the Allegiance quest is going to matter.
Your own brother.
Right.
Yeah, I think the Allegiance quest is going to matter.
See, and you've been waiting.
Yes, because it said this may affect future content.
Right.
3.5 seasons ago.
Heck out of this thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we'd love to hear your thoughts about the upcoming season, Dawn. So by all means, you know where to reach out to us. 703-791-1701. We'd love to get your voicemail. Share it on the show with the other Guardians. We also have a Twitter account. That's HHFTT.
Podcast.
Podcast. That's right. That's on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's a tough one for me to remember for whatever reason.
You're on like 103 hours of streams today, so
I know.
I will
I know.
help you out.
Thank you. I appreciate
I will not
it.
read creative comments.
And then,
Court
and then, of course, we've also got the podcast. The podcast at happyhourfromthetower.com. That is the best way that you can reach out to us. We also there's this show. There's this stream coming on here and talking to us. We've had a really lively chat this evening, and we appreciate each and every one of you not only just reaching out to us, but also reaching out to Guardians MH, who are also in chat. By the way, thank you very much for that host. We do appreciate it. It has been an absolute blast having you guys here tonight. Again, you can keep up with us on my Discord. You can go on ahead and check out when we will be doing another live show. It's usually every 2 weeks, provided schedules and life allows. But just remember, folks, that Happy Hour from the Tower is protected by a non-commercial, no derivative, share-alike United States 3.0 license. You can find out more about that license at creativecommons.org. So on behalf of Brandon, on behalf of Nick, on behalf of Average Joe, on behalf of all the Guardians that are involved in this podcast, thank you all so much for hanging out with us on the stream. Eyes up, Guardians. Time to give up the ghost. The first round, yeah, that's on us. And we are clear, and we are back for the after show banter. Whew, man, this has been a hell of a day.
So much fun.
I know. It's and this time I swear to God I am going to get the show out. Just so you all know, chat, just behind the scenes look. We actually recorded a show where we sat down and we talked about Shadowkeep, and it was a terrific show. It was a lot of fun. We got a lot of the stuff we were talking about, how we felt
I had
about
lots of notes on that one.
We did. You had a copious amount of notes on it, and then life got in the way, and suddenly I was like, "Oh my God!" So it's been over a week and a half.
Yeah.
And I was so busy trying to play Shadowkeep that I didn't get around to actually doing the show about Shadowkeep. So I'm not gonna make the same mistake with this show. This podcast is a labor of love. I loved. We've been. God, do you realize we've been doing this podcast for over 3 years?
And then doesn't it hit 3?
I thought it was 3 years.
It might have been, because it was whenever Age of Triumph was.
Yeah.
That we started.
That's true. And it was when.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. It is over 3, because that mean D2.
Two. It's
2.5.
It's 2.5.
Yeah.
Because D2 dropped. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what D2
Why are you guys
dropped.
doing a podcast about Destiny? It's a dead game.
Yeah. Well, this is why.
Yeah. Remember Anthem? Anthem killed Destiny. You guys remember that?
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. And when Division killed
Division killed Destiny. Yeah.
Joe, what was the game that killed Destiny?
None.
Apex.
Time?
Apex Legends.
Fortnite?
I don't think any of them touched it, really. I mean, the people that play Trials went to Apex, went to Fortnite, went to these PvP games because they couldn't get that competitive edge or the competitive feel in Destiny anymore. So it didn't scratch that itch anymore. And doing that alteration with Trials of the Nine was just was not received well. It did not perform well. It went the way of the factions, frankly, and we still haven't gotten factions back. There's a lot of stuff that they need to work on and retool and bring back. And if Trials of Osiris ever does make a return, you're going to see those player populations in Apex and other games drop, because people are going to come back to play Trials of Osiris to see how.
But I would say that Apex, one of the things that Apex had going for it was that it worked, unlike Anthem. I would have loved to have tried out Anthem. I did see some people stream it, and I was kind of shocked at how similar it was to Destiny. I mean, there was somebody that was doing, they were controlling electricity, and it was called something like Thunderstruck or some ability like that.
It's different. It's just the matter of when it was released on similar time spans to Destiny. And the fact that it was not enough to keep having that replayability that Destiny has, because it just wasn't built for that.
There was a lot of backstage turmoil. I mean, I read up on some of that. And that was insane what was going on in BioWare. I was pretty stunned by it.
Meanwhile, the little engine that could, Warframe, is still going.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Warframe's a great game.
It is.
It's such a wonderful game, and the studio is so passionate about it and its community. Bungie could learn so much from the Warframe community.
The Warframe music is amazing.
Oh yeah.
We actually
so
we had a
cool.
bodybuilder who was like, I don't know what I want to pose to, and we're like, I think we got something for you. So he straight, which one? I don't even remember.
Wings of War.
Wings of War. Yeah, we're like, dude, we got you. And so we played that during his routine.
And did you love it?
We snuck a Warframe song into a bodybuilding show. Are you kidding me? How geeky are we?
I think I had to remove Warframe from my PS4. I may want to. I'm hoping that I can download it and try it again because I've never tried it.
You've got to go. You got to take him to that one spot with the song, with the chant song.
Oh, Fortuna.
Yeah,
It's
like they took this like idea and then they went so far with it, and you're like, holy cow, you guys really did just push it all the way.
It's the only problem is you will not have enough time to do anything because it's a grind and a half, that game.
I've heard that. I've heard that it's super grind.
So it's because they have to maintain income. That it's a lot of anything cosmetic costs platinum, which is the buyable currency.
Right.
And then there's grinding for better gear, which is the prime stuff that takes relics, which you have to grind for, which is.
And this is why I'm nervous about taking on.
Because it's a
unless
time
something
investment.
changes unless something changes in my schedule.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, as you know, as I was talking about before I got here, I'm job hunting and I'm actively looking for something that offers me the remote possibilities, the same ones I had with Code.gov, because it was nice being able to stream every morning.
Mm-hmm.
It was really nice to do that, and it's been kind of killing me that that. I mean, I look at my streaming schedule now, and I'm like, with the exception of today was an anomaly because man, I streamed my ass off today.
Yeah.
But
there's one. I'll have a conversation with you when we're off mic.
Oh, sure.
I was talking to somebody yesterday about potential thing.
Okay. Sweet. All right.
And then I've already talked to my Java guy, Joe, so I'll set up a conversation. If you just kind of give me the details on what you need for the Discord bot, and I'll tell him what those are and see if he wants to do it or if he wants to get one of his junior guys to do it. And we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I pretty much have it all written and everything. What I'm trying to do is wrap my head around VPS servers. Because right now I am hosting it off a home server. Actually built a little home server to keep it going and run it 24/7, maintain it and this and that. But I've heard wonderful things about Amazon's platform where we could put it on for a year, and I have 90 plus hours making this Discord bot because I don't know Java. I don't know how to write these things, and I've managed to get it working and include almost 100 different, I think I'm at like 97 different mental health resources.
So what does it do? What does this bot do?
This bot provides immediate mental health resources. So if you're for if you're doing research, let's say for health topics and this and that, ADD.
Okay. Right.
You can type command ADD and it'll pull up several different resources for ADD.
Okay. So
if you want to talk
specific,
about
it
yep.
actually does specific. Here are resources for these specific mental illnesses. That's neat. That's
not
really
just
cool.
mental health resource like topics or illnesses, but also other organizations. Guardians MH, we do have a mental health team. we might not be the right fit for what you're looking for. So we promote various other organizations and what they provide too. We have people that struggle with paying for therapy. Well, RAD is one of the commands, and RAD helps pay for people's therapy sessions.
Okay.
Crisis, there's therapy, mental health professional locators on it. There's links, also commands for prescriptions. So if you have a question about a prescription, there's links to speak with a pharmacist. So you can ask them questions about a particular medication that you're taking or you might be taking, or questions about it. There's mental health screenings available on there. There's even resources for coping for after a divorce. Poison controls on there. Free Hugs is a resource for the LGBTQ community that actually helps with name changes and support for people within that community. So we don't just limit it to just us and what we can do in specific illnesses or conditions. We have those resources on. We have us on there. We have specific illnesses and conditions. I've tried to keep it to the more common ones. BPD is on there. There's some that we have encountered and some that are a little rare that you can reach out to us directly, and we'll definitely help you find resources for it. But there are so many organizations that do wonderful things and have their own mission and focus that we like to share that and point people in the right direction. So this Discord bot just makes things nice and neat. Nice. Keeps everything clean in the Discord, because Discord can get sloppy. I mean,
it can.
Yep,
it can.
Yeah,
it can
very quickly. And with the folders and everything, that's great. I'm in 57 different Discord servers.
Yeah.
I
need to figure out those folders, because
dude, they are awesome.
Yeah. I need to go and figure out them folders, because right now I'm coming up on my first deadline.
I think Joe's going to help you write a chapter of Discord for Dummies.
I'm going to be doing a lot. I'm going to be giving Guardians MH a lot of love on that. It's definitely something I want to get done. Joe, it has been an absolute delight having you on here.
Man.
And I'm glad you were you came in and you talked a little bit about Saint 14. This was a fun stream. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. So, Joe, thank you very much. We will talk to you another time, okay?
No problem. Anytime. Thank you for putting up with my stuttering and stammering and everything.
I'll see you in the Twitterverse, my friend, as always.
Absolutely.
I'll see you around.
Thanks, Joe.
See you. Take.
Man, this has been a long day.
Are we still on?
We're still on, but okay. I'm getting ready to wrap it up. So, again, chat, thank you all very much. I'm going to let AutoHost do its thing. But, this has been a good day. It's time to wrap it up.
You could tell. There's a reason I wanted to bring him on for this topic.
Yeah.
It's the other person going, holy crap, it's Saint 14.
Yeah. He was great to have on. It was great to have on. Yeah. And again, I'm going to work on it and make sure this show goes out no later than Tuesday.
The cat approves.
Cat approves. All right. Okay, we're gonna wrap up stream. Thanks everybody. You guys have a good night. Take care.